There is a giant footprint in front of you. This is an imprint made from the original print, which was in the collection of the Texas Museum of Natural History and disappeared from there without a trace in the mid-60s. And now attention, the rock in which the trace is left dates back to the Mesozoic, the period when giant lizards and dinosaurs lived on Earth. It belongs to a man about 5 meters tall, who lived on Earth about 80 million years ago, in the Mesozoic era. It just seems incredible. A man of the Mesozoic era, or is this a clever fake? We found out that several hundred similar traces have been found on the planet. This imprint of a huge human foot is located in the heart of the Ural Mountains, at the top of the Polyadov Ridge. What is it, a bizarre game of nature or a real proof of the existence of giants? Researcher Nikolai Subotin is sure that we have one of the few reliable artifacts in front of us. Stones with holes are called traces. They are formed due to prolonged mechanical action on the rock. As they say, water sharpens a stone.
Well, if the trace appeared somewhere down there, you could say, there's water dripping, that's how nature did it, that she knocked out this hole. But this trace, it's right on top of the mountain. That is, how did he appear? It seems that really, when there was a soft rock, really someone big stepped there and then petrified it all. And here he is, an anthropomorphic trace man.
The Ural Mountains were formed in the Mesozoic. It seems that the American giants, the Siberian giant, lived in the same era, about 80 million years ago. It's a Stegosaurus, the largest creature that has ever lived on Earth. A typical representative of the Mesozoic fauna. And on this stone is the battle of humans and dinosaurs. And, judging by the images, humans were not inferior to dinosaurs either in strength or in size. The drawings on the ICA stones tell us the whole truth about the Mesozoic era. Look at the images of oceans and continents. Few people remember that it was at the beginning of the Mesozoic that the single continent of Pangaea split into parts. North and south, and then cracked again, forming the western and eastern continents. By the end of the Mesozoic, about 100 million years ago, they acquired a familiar appearance for us. At the same time, ocean currents formed, and the climate on the planet became stable and warm for the first time. The Earth has turned into the Garden of Eden. It is possible that the first man appeared among the rich flora and diverse fauna. One of the most convincing proofs of this theory were the finds in the Gobi Desert. At the beginning of the 20th century, American scientist Roy Shepman Andrews discovered bones and eggs of dinosaurs that lived here in the Mesozoic era in Bayanzak Canyon. And a few years later, the Russian researcher and famous writer Ivan Efremov, during a paleontological expedition, unearthed a 6-meter human skeleton in the same cultural layer of the Bayanzak Canyon. This finding proved it once again. Giant people lived on Earth at the same time as dinosaurs. But the planet is constantly growing. As you know, its radius increases by 2 to 3 centimeters per year. At the same time, gravity increases, and plants and animals become smaller and smaller. If we assume that the civilization of giants still exists on our planet, then the only place where they can live is the seas and oceans. After all, according to Archimedes' law, gravity is much less there. It is believed that about 100,000 years ago, the civilization of giants perished as a result of a global cataclysm on the planet. But it seems that some of them went under the water and live there to this day. Myths of different peoples tell us that there were several civilizations on Earth before humanity. The country of Mu, Lemuria, Hyperborea, Atlantis. All these peoples were giants. From 5 to 20 meters. On the one hand, we have real evidence of their existence. Huge bones that archaeologists find. But on the other hand, even a schoolboy knows that people 5 or 10 meters tall will not be able to live in the conditions of gravity. Gravity will kill them. If a modern person is increased, for example, 10 times, his weight will increase proportionally, that is, about 1,000 times. This means that a person will become 1,000 times heavier. The amount of muscle mass will not cope with such a weight, and a person of this size is unlikely to be able to walk independently. This is confirmed by long-term medical observations. The tallest people in the history of mankind suffered from a whole bunch of serious diseases and rarely lived to 40. American Robert Pershing Odlow was 2 meters 72 centimeters tall. He grew up all his life and died at the age of 22 from a brain hemorrhage. Ukrainian Leonid Stadnik had a height of 2 meters 53 centimeters and weighed more than 200 kilograms. He died at the age of 44 from a stroke. And finally, the tallest man in the world is Fyodor Makhnov. His height is 2 meters 85 centimeters. The Russian hero lived at the end of the 19th century. He was distinguished by incredible physical strength. However, he could not avoid an early death either. Fyodor lived only to the age of 34. As you can see, even the tallest person on Earth does not reach up to 3 meters. It seems that the 5-meter giants, whose bones are constantly found by archaeologists, could exist only in one case, if the gravity on Earth would be an order of magnitude less. And there really was such a period. Just imagine that in the Mesozoic era, the Earth was almost twice as small. It was during this period that the planet was inhabited by giant lizards and dinosaurs. It is believed that the man appeared much later. At the top of the Einder Hill, on a flat white platform, there are 3 giant footprints. According to one version, they belong to the deity in whose honor the temple was built. But the researchers came to a different conclusion. It's hard to believe, but the length of the foot was 90 centimeters, which means the growth of the creature could reach 10 meters. Who could have left such traces? Ernst Moldashev suggests that these are people who lived on Earth long before humanity. The Great Rift Valley of East Africa. Its width is only 100 kilometers. There are powerful African volcanoes on both sides. Here, at the foot of the extinct Meru volcano today, the most ancient Cro-Magnon sites are found. And 70 millennia ago, lava bubbled in the vents of volcanoes. It was she who warmed the air inside the valley, allowing a person to survive in a volcanic winter. In this small reserve, only 2,000 people of the Homo sapiens species escaped, who became the progenitors of modern man.